And so the sharks were all aggressive, and this one shark named Constanza decided she thought she might want a piece of me. And when she got really super close, I exhaled. Well, when I exhaled, the bubbles startled her and she swam away, but then she just made a slow semicircle and came back around. Same thing again, she came close, and then when I exhaled, she shook it off and took off. I totally was wondering how this was going to go, and learned that just to stay calm and keep an eye on the shark.
Well, aloha and welcome to Think Ocean. I'm Captain John, your host. And in this very exciting episode, I'm going to introduce you to the queen of the tiger sharks. Her name is Cheryl. And she's been diving with tiger sharks every single day she can for well over a decade. She has a deep love and passion for the ocean and all the animals that reside within it, especially the tiger shark. I hope that you're impressed and inspired by her. So without any further ado, let's head to the beach and meet the queen of the tiger sharks here in Kona, Hawaii. Well, aloha, Cheryl, and welcome to Think Ocean.
Aloha, Captain, and thanks so much for the new nickname. I just love it.
Well, you're welcome, Cheryl. You are the queen of the tiger sharks.
Aw. That's really an honor.
Cheryl, how long have you been scuba diving?
I've been diving for 21 years. And I am totally addicted. And I go diving every day I can, as long as Mother Ocean will let me.
And so, Cheryl, how long have you been tiger shark diving?
I've been diving here at Honokohau for 13 years. And I always knew there were tiger sharks here and never dreamed that I would be diving here. And then one 4th of July, I went out and along comes this tiger shark and scared the ever-living daylights out of me. My bottom time was 13 minutes.
And what's your bottom time now?
Oh, it usually averages over an hour, but I go well over hour and a half a lot of times.
Well, so you've really gotten used to diving with these tiger sharks.
Oh God, it's like if I don't see a shark, it's like I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cry or something because, you know, we live to see the tiger sharks. Well, I used to be a sport fisherwoman when I first moved to Hawaii, and we would go in and out of Honokohau Harbor, and the captain asked one day if we wanted to go for a swim here, and I'm like, oh my God, absolutely not. I wouldn't even let my foot touch the water because I knew how big the sharks were here.
Now, one of the things we get to do is we get to name a shark here if we discover a new shark that has come into the bay. And this helps the cataloging and naming of these sharks, which Charlie Fasano is in charge of with his work with the Shark Research Institute. Have you ever discovered a new shark, Cheryl?
Actually, my old dive buddy, legendary Porter Watson, videoed and photographed a number of sharks that were unnamed, and as Charlie was adding them to the catalog, he was trying to find names for them. This was after Porter passed in 2020. And so Charlie asked me, since I was one of Porter's dive buddies, if I would want to name one. And so I got the great honor and privilege of naming one, and I picked the name Cheryl the Sea Shark, because my little granddaughter introduced me to Baby Shark. And so I thought it was very appropriate that Baby Shark should have an auntie named Cheryl the Sea Shark.
That's awesome, Cheryl, that you got to name a shark from the legendary shark diver Porter Watson's catalog. God rest his soul. But Cheryl, I also want to ask you, do you have a shark out here, or maybe two, that's very special to you, to your heart?
I actually have a couple of favorites. Everybody's number one favorite is Laverne, and I love Laverne. She's been through everything a shark could possibly ever go through, and she's a survivor. And the other one is Marie, and Marie, we call Marie our pinup girl. She is the most gorgeous tiger shark that I have ever seen, and just majestic. And when she shows up, it's like my heart just stops. She's just beautiful.
Now, Cheryl, do you mind if I ask you your age?
I'm 65.
65, years young.
Right. Well, I've always been a tomboy, and I'm an adrenaline junkie. I'm always active. A couple of weeks ago we went skydiving, and I'm usually doing something, running or going to the gym, hike. If I'm not scuba diving, I'm doing something, usually outdoors.
Have you ever had any close tiger shark encounters where you felt a little concerned?
Oh yeah, there was one day, and so the sharks were all aggressive, and this one shark named Constanza decided she thought she might want a piece of me. So she came up to me, and I was videoing her, and the closer she got, I'm thinking, okay, do the Ocean Ramsey, we're going to tiger shark redirect. And when she got really, really super close, I exhaled. Well, when I exhaled, the bubbles startled her, and she swam away, but then she just made a slow semicircle and came back around. Same thing again, she came close, 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 and then when I exhaled, she shook it off and took off. But I totally was wondering how this was going to go, and learned that just to stay calm and keep an eye on the shark.
And so, Cheryl, how many tiger sharks have you dove with at one time here?
Well, one day I arrived, and Porter Watson and Tom Carey had just gotten out of the water, and they were all excited. They said, Cheryl, somebody dumped fish scraps out past the third mooring ball. You got to go out there. There's 2 tiger sharks out there. So I go out there, and I see the one really large tiger shark was digging in the coral, and I thought, oh my God, it's still hungry after all that. And I thought, well, they said there was 2, and that shark finally just kind of swam off. And I'm looking around for the other shark, and it comes up, and then about that time I figured they're probably both still hungry, and I decided to end my dive. It was pretty exciting.
We don't feed the sharks here to attract them, but Cheryl, you have a unique way of attracting the sharks underwater that's kind of natural. Will you tell us about it?
Yeah, well, what we do actually is sort of like summoning the Kraken. So what we do is we take a lava rock, kind of a big one, and we pound it on another rock, and then I also take it and scrape it on the rock. And what this does is, to the sharks, it sounds like the turtles when they get up underneath rocks and try to scrape the barnacles off of them.
And do you see other sharks here other than tiger sharks on this dive?
Oh yeah, when we do our dusk dives, that's at sunset, sometimes we'll see the sandbar sharks. The sandbar sharks have a very, very large dorsal fin. They usually swim very quickly along the bottom, and when I see them, they kind of remind me of a pack of wild dogs. They're just going everywhere very quickly. Now and then we'll see the white tips cruise through. And one time we even got to see a whale shark here. It was about 30 feet long, and it was so amazing to see a shark that big, 30 feet long. Just right here on a shore dive.
This dive site, this is a very unique dive location where we have sharks in the water and dolphins in the water consistently. And I know your Instagram name is Cheryl Loves Dolphins. So tell me about some of your great dolphin experiences, or the best one that you've had here.
Oh yeah, my favorite memory of diving with the dolphins was one Sunday morning. I was out by myself and I was surrounded by at least 100 dolphins, and every circle that they would make around me, they'd come a little bit closer. It was one of the most magical days of my entire life.
Have you ever seen dolphins and tiger sharks together here?
Yes, I have. And the first time I saw it, it was out at about 80 feet deep. And it was Marie, the tiger shark, swimming with a handful of dolphins. But the dolphins, what they were doing is trying to corral and herd the tiger shark away from their pod.
So they kind of send a scout out.
Right, yeah, they're swimming all around them. You know, they'll go up and get air and then they'll shoot back down and try to make sure the tiger shark knows that they're on to what she's doing.
You can see the tiger shark, Marie, coming close, and overhead the potted dolphins keeping a watchful eye on her. Then after a short while, the pod sent out a scout to kind of act as a decoy and lead the shark down and away from the pod. The footage is far, but you can see the scout out in front of the tiger shark, leading her down and away to well over 100 feet.
Now, we're all ocean conservationists and marine scientist amateurs. We love the ocean. Tell us why you think ocean conservation is important, especially when it comes to sharks and tiger sharks.
Well, after scuba diving and observing the tiger sharks, especially over the last years, I've learned that the sharks are really just like the cleaners of the ocean, and they maintain a very important balance there. They're not the monsters and the just, waiting around with their mouths open for us to jump in the water kind of Jaws animals. They're not that at all. They're actually graceful, gorgeous, and they have this peace that I sense whenever they're around, and I just love diving with them. Fortunately, after Laverne, the tiger shark, got hooked and dragged up onto the rocks over here in Hawaii, it is now illegal to catch the sharks and rays, and they're protected.
Thank you, Cheryl, for this great interview. You are the queen of tiger shark diving in Kona.
Thank you so much, Captain. This is great fun. Let's go diving.
Let's go diving. Now, folks, stay tuned for another episode of Think Ocean coming out in a month. Keep yourselves healthy, keep the oceans clean, keep them healthy, and until next episode, I'm Captain John. Aloha!